going to be talking about surveillance, but it may not be the one that you're thinking about right now. While the governments have long justified their use of surveillance for security purposes, these days the advancement of digital surveillance technologies and big data analytics have led to the exploitation of our personal data by big corporations in order to analyze their consumer, make targeted advertisement, and increase their profit. These days, business models are more based on constant surveillance of their consumers' media use and movement in the digital space. These corporations analyzed us by our digital footprints or cookies, which are collected and analyzed real time by big corporations such as Google, Instagram, or basically every single online platform that you could think of. These includes all kinds of information such as our website visit histories, our searches, even our sex and age, and IP addresses. Now, in this sense, as long as we are connected through the internet, we are always surveilled in one way or another. Now, you might wonder, why do these big companies even bother monitoring and collecting data of me? Who am I? I'm nobody. But it doesn't matter if you're just an average citizen, because unlike the government, these big companies and businesses surveilled each and one of us in order to create what's called a user profile. They do this to find patterns, such as from our likes and dislikes, and then from this, they would analyze it to see our past behavior, which in turn would allow them to predict our future behavior. From this, they would advertise us products or services that we would more likely interact with and even purchase. According to Talay, by using user profiles, these companies can make direct advertisement according to interest, brand preference, and location to a more essential target group. An example of this that I'm sure a lot of you have experienced before is like when you Google cat food, for example. Somehow, just magically, the next advertisement you find would probably be an ad for cat food. Now, I personally found this both cool and scary at the same time. But with that in mind, now let's talk about one of the arguably biggest corporations in the world right now, Google. Google has so many different services, and each of them surveilled us in a different way. Google's search engine can monitor our search queries and website visits. Their maps could track our location and movement. Google Home or Google Assistant can monitor and record our personal activities, and their AI messenger Allo could monitor our social communications. So this is basically every single aspect of our life being monitored by one corporation. And keep in mind that Google is not the only business that's doing this. In addition, according to Andrew and Baker, with all this data that Google gets from surveilling us 24/7, Google developed an artificial intelligence for a predictive analysis, which then with our data, they sell to other companies and other businesses for them to use to make targeted advertisement for us. Now that seems like a huge invasion of privacy, and people today are becoming more and more aware about the privacy issues that comes with constant surveillance. But keep in mind that all of this information about what Google used our data for is probably in their terms and conditions or in the cookie policy notice. And the problem is, have you ever read a term and condition of an app or a website that you use? Like, read the whole thing. Well, props to you if you have, but at least from what I know, it is very rare that people actually read all of the terms and conditions before agreeing to it, because a lot of the times it is very long and incomprehensible. Now, this idea is better represented by Barron's privacy paradox, in which Barron's explained that a lot of people are becoming more worried about privacy issues and surveillance technologies, but at the same time, they still blindly agree to terms and condition policies, and sometimes even reveal intimate details about themselves in blogs or online services. But I believe that the privacy paradox idea is not as simple as it seems, as a lot of the times We won't be able to access these applications or websites without giving away some form of personal information and data about ourselves. It's almost as if all the services that we thought we could use for free actually comes with a price. And that price is our personal information, our data. In addition, remember that so many people rely on the internet for their well-being, as in this day and age, it is almost impossible to function without being online. Now, I know that this all sounds really grim, but don't worry because everything always has a positive side to it. For me personally, I believe that one of the biggest advantages of having this surveillance and targeted advertisement is convenience. It is honestly so convenient and so easy when I'm looking for a specific thing or is interested in something and my phone just recommends it to me. Sometimes it even helps me find products from businesses or online shops that I've never heard of before. And in a way, this could also be a very beneficial thing for new or struggling businesses to find an audience. More importantly, as a digital media student, I am completely dependent on the online world. So at least for now, I am willing to sacrifice having personal data about me collected and monitored by businesses and corporations. But the question is, how about you?